Now, what I thought would be cool to do today, guys, we're obviously getting towards the end of the year. We have 2024 to look forward to. Usually, I like to do a little prediction stream where we talk about everything that's happening in the following year and give our takes and our predictions on if we think it's going to be awesome, if we think it's going to be lame, should we be excited, should we not be excited, what are some cool things out there we should have on our radar, etc., etc., okay? What I wanted to do was look back at the stream from earlier this year, and I wanted to see, man, how much did I get right? How much did I get wrong? Like what, and how did all of that go? And I think it's going to end up being a pretty entertaining, pretty funny stream because I don't exactly remember where my mindset was at earlier in 2024, but I'm going to go ahead and say I didn't anticipate 2023 to be as bad as it was. Like, what a year. I mean, Marvel Studios opened up the year with Quantumania. I'll be interested to see what I thought of Quantumania back then. And then closed out the year with the Marvels as far as from films. We had Mandalorian Season 3, and then we had Ahsoka. Yeah. Let's take a trip, ladies and gentlemen, to the distant past of 11 months ago. Yeah, so let's just see. Let's see. This is all an experiment. So let me know. We'll go over it together, okay? Yeah, let's go over it together, past Josh. First thing that's on my list, the thing that I'm looking forward to, that I'm very, very hopeful, is Invincible. Invincible. Do you agree or do you not agree? Are you excited for Invincible? Let me know in the chat. Let's hear what I had to say about Invincible. Here's the deal with Invincible Season 2. Invincible Season 1 was absolutely incredible. Like, dude, it was awesome. It was freaking awesome. Probably my favorite animated season of superhero stuff in a long, long time. Yeah, I'd agree. Past Josh. Literally groundbreaking. So we're getting teased. This is the Invincible Twitter account. Update will come sometime between January 2nd and January 31st, so sometime in January, we're supposed to get news about Invincible Season 2. Now, I'll pause right there and I'll say, I remember that the trailer was just that stupid teaser they did with, what's his name, the alien, just chilling there, and I was super disappointed by that. I also can't believe that they took as long as they did to release it, and that we only got 4 episodes. Also, check this out. I noticed this where I'm just like randomly on Twitter here. Look, Fire James Gunn and Peter Safran was actually trending back then. Isn't that crazy? Like all the way back then, and I think this was before like our beef and everything like that. It's crazy looking back at it, you know. And I'm really looking forward to Invincible Season 2, but I mean, the fanboy in me, like the super optimistic, like what's the best case scenario for this show? Yeah, what's the best case scenario? Type of person. I kind of want Invincible Season 2 to be so phenomenally good, like breaking into Nielsen top 10 charts, like getting big numbers, big views. It feels like when it first came out, literally in 2020, unless I'm mistaken, like Nielsen, Patriot Analytics, like a lot of these companies were trying to adjust to streaming, but they weren't really there. So I don't know that we have any idea how well Invincible Season 1 did other than a social media imprint. Is that true? Is past Josh correct here? Like, did we not know because the streaming hadn't begun? I'm hopeful, man, that Invincible blows up, does massive numbers, because I kind of want it to be like a signal to these other studios, whether it be Star Wars, how dare you, DC, Marvel, or any of these companies, that you can. Okay, so Elias says it did not reach overall chart, only the original chart. Are you talking about first season, or are you talking about second season? Which one are you talking about? Do really great animated stuff that leans adult and that is really, really successful. So it did not. Season 2 did not reach. Move on to the next one. The overall chart. I'm really looking forward to updates around like what's going on with the Game of Thrones universe, the Jon Snow show. No. Hot D Season 2, other spin-offs and things of that nature. And this is, you know what else is crazy? There's no way that past Josh could have known that the strikes were going to happen as bad as they did. Past Josh did not get his wish here because we didn't get shit updated as far as that. Wow. You know what, guys? I really didn't anticipate how off this list might be because of the strikes, but you know what, I'm gonna skip ahead and let's see what I had to say about Stranger Things. A Kang variant? Oh god, let's not go there yet. But of course, a lot of great shows have lackluster endings, lackluster final seasons, like Lost, Game of Thrones, you know, things of that nature. So you know, Stranger Things on the edge of glory, as Katy Perry would say. I think that was a Katy Perry song, right? So should I flip my camera?
All-time great.
Here, wait.
Maybe the best.
Let's do this. Will this be less trippy?
It's a phenomenal series. It's a great show. Following these characters has been a true joy. And I thought season 4 was something special. Like, we were like, I was shocked. I don't know about y'all.
I was shocked as well.
Shocked at the last season of Stranger Things. I thought
I was shocked too.
Sick as hell.
This guy makes some good points.
Another thing that I'm really looking forward to in 2023.
Jesus fucking Christ. You know, chat, I might not have thought through this. Okay.
And I guess shout out to Moss because we'll talk about Dune a little bit here. Dune 2. Dune 2.
Dune
what
2.
do you guys think? Are you excited for Dune 2?
Yeah, I'm
Where's
excited.
your hype level for Dune 2? Let me know, chat.
Yeah, chat, where was your hype level for Dune 2?
I'm actually pretty excited for Dune 2.
0 out of 10 says Frex. You son of a gun. Are you in here, Frex? Kendall said 4 out of 10 back
here's
then.
the deal.
Kendall.
Dude, I absolutely love the first movie. It has a lot of brilliant things going on. But it's slow.
It's so slow. I
It's
agree.
slow.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I like it. It's atmospheric, but it's slow. It's long. It lingers. Dennis has already said.
Yeah, I call him Dennis.
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
It's not Villeneuve, whatever bullshit ass thing you guys always try to say.
Yeah, you guys are
it's
horrible
fucking
at
slow.
pronunciations, dude.
But Dennis has already come out and said that part 2 is going to ramp it up a little bit. It's the second part of the first book.
Let's go.
I believe if this movie's not really financially successful,
Let's go.
This could be the end of what Dennis is doing with Dune. Kind of a make or break moment for if Dune can rise to the occasion, can become one of these new franchises that people follow, that people fall in love with, and that sort of takes over the zeitgeist, right?
Yeah, but
so
did that
we'll see.
happen?
Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2.
Sometime in 2023. I'm actually pretty optimistic about it.
Are you?
Okay, The Boys.
Oh, The Boys.
I love The Boys. I'm not like as in love with it as I think a lot of people are, but I do love The Boys. Okay? And I thought that last season was real chill. You know, I had a really hot take.
Oh, I had a
about
hot
The
take,
Boys.
guys. I had a hot take.
Should I give you guys my hot take?
Do it.
Do we want to trigger everybody like right away?
What's the hot take?
Should we get everybody triggered? Did you know that The Boys is the perfect example of a show that puts woke, I'm going to do this in quotes so not everybody gets triggered, woke stuff into it, and yet it is really successful?
Why do you say that?
Did you know that? Did you know that?
Why do
The
you always say
Boys
shit like this?
Is the
This is going to get yourself in trouble.
of a woke show
He's taking his 50 back.
that's actually successful?
God damn it.
Do you agree?
No.
Do you disagree?
I mean, I do agree, but
They do so many political messages. They put a lot of left-leaning stuff in there. They clown on. I mean, they literally had like a borderline QAnon.
They did have that
Trump-supported
episode,
episode with like the intro with that kid and shit like that.
it's
And to
woke
be honest with
trash,
you, and
says
this is the
Ross.
thing that'll probably really trigger a lot of you. I don't like that shit at all. All that shit in The Boys triggers the fuck out of me, dude. I'm like, why you gotta do it? But here's the thing. You gotta
It does trigger me. I can't believe I admitted that.
admit that they do it in such a way that the show itself is still so fucking good. It's like, it literally feels like
He's kind of cooking here.
what we always say, where it's like, if it's good enough, you can get away with that messaging if it's good enough. Also, they play kind of fair, and it's a little bit more balanced because they make fun of, in some ways, like wokeness and like fake wokeness and all that kind of stuff. It makes fun of that too. So the
Vince
show kind
Varner.
of takes
Yeah,
jabs
a
at
little bit,
both
yeah.
sides of the culture war. I would argue it takes way more jabs on the right than it does on the left.
I'd agree.
But it's balanced, and it's just so damn intriguing
Yeah.
that the politics of the show don't matter. It's a successful show. It's massive for Amazon.
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
is.
pretty sure it's just been getting better and better as far as numbers go.
I think so,
and I expect the
too.
next season to be probably
Hey, he's
even
kind
the
of
biggest.
cooking
I mean,
it. All right. Past
like,
Josh.
they do a lot
my
of stuff
man.
that's like really headline grabbing, like the hero-gasm, and even the intro of last season when they
my
like crawled
God,
into that
dude.
dude's penis. Like, my God, bro.
My
What
God.
the fuck are we watching?
Yeah. What were
You know
we
what I
watching?
mean? Well, let's get into one of my personal favorites that I am bound
Oh, no.
and determined
Uh-oh.
to make a thing
Uh-oh.
and to get all of you so excited about it and you love it. Put a 1 in the chat if you love Rebel Moon and you love Zack Snyder and you're so excited for it. We're going to know more about it as the year goes on.
Oh,
I
good.
think
That's good.
this movie will drop this year, and I think they'll start to ramp up production
Yeah.
relatively soon, and
Yeah.
we're going to learn way more about it going into the movie. Now, here's the deal with Rebel Moon. Why
Yeah, what's
am I
the
so
deal?
excited about Rebel Moon?
Yeah, why?
Well, first of all, it's Zack Snyder, and
Yeah.
I do love Zack Snyder. Tier 3 sim.
And there's no way he's going to fuck it up.
Absolutely hilarious that Zack basically got rejected from Lucasfilm, and now he's going to go make a version of his Star Wars pitch completely all his own with a massive budget on Netflix. And Star Wars' next film is David Lindelof, sequel trilogy, Miss Marvel director, and we're going to get there because that doesn't sound like a good fucking setup for them. So Rebel Moon has a chance, just like I was saying about Dune, man. Just like I was saying about Invincible.
How much do I talk about
has a
Rebel
chance
Moon?
To really
Not
solidify
a
itself
lot.
as this epic.
Okay, so obviously, it
shit.
really has never happened before, but I was incorrect when it came to Rebel Moon. All right, moving on.
For Warhammer.
Oh.
And Henry Cavill's Warhammer Universe.
Now we're cooking.
And I threw this in there just because, I mean, obviously, like, I'm getting into Warhammer. I'm so excited. I'm going to play my first game of Warhammer in the next couple of weeks, and I'm so excited.
I hadn't even played a
to
game
do
yet.
so. And I just got into Warhammer, and of course, Henry Cavill no longer going to be Superman. Kind of sucks, and many of us were a little bit disappointed, to say the least, about that.
Yeah, I was.
But as a silver lining, Henry Cavill is helping to produce and bring to life a Warhammer live-action universe via Amazon.
Yeah.
Now, my hope
Yeah, what's your hope?
for 2023, as far as this is concerned, and I want, like,
Ayo.
substantial plans. I don't.
We didn't get plans.
Like, my fear with the Warhammer stuff.
Yeah, what's
right,
your fear? What's your
is
fear?
that it's something Amazon is doing, but they don't have it as high of priority as it should be, and as we want it to be as fans, right?
Okay.
And so I fear a little bit that, like, this could be something we don't hear about for 2 years. And 2 years from now, we're like, yo, where's that Warhammer thing that Henry Cavill and Amazon were working on? What I would really like, and what would just, like, get me so hyped up as a fan, is that by the end of the year, maybe at Warhammer Fest, maybe at, like, a D23, maybe even at New York Comic-Con, that they come with an announcement, and it's fucking serious, bro. They're serious about
Okay,
it.
so basically, I got this one kind of half right because, look, for most of the year, it felt like this wasn't going to happen. For most of the year, it was like, dude, I don't even know if this is going to happen. Like, this, everybody kept telling me it's in production hell. I heard some really negative rumors. And then I think it was 2 Mondays ago, maybe 3 Mondays ago, Games Workshop kind of randomly updated us and said, yeah, no, we're doing it. The deal has been signed. We're getting the writer's room assembled. It's Cavill's thing. Like, we're doing it. So kind of correct on that one. And that is freaking awesome. And I'm really excited that we with it. And they've even got, different writers attached and things of that nature. If they can do have writers
something
attached,
like that
yeah.
by the end of the year, holy mother loving lover mothers, I will be so fucking excited.
I
dude.
am
So
excited.
That is something to
Very
look forward
cool.
to as well.
No big announcement.
And then the
but
last
thank God that they're actually
thing that
announced
I
something.
want to go over, Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. What's up with Dragon Ball, man?
Now, Dragon Ball, one of my favorite franchises, properties out there.
Yeah, I love Dragon Ball.
Love Dragon Ball. And according to Geekdom 101, we are getting some new Dragon Ball anime in 2023. And I'm a
True.
little, like, kind of, if I'm being honest with you, I'm a little confused as to, like, exactly what's going on, because I've heard, like, from Danny, there's going to be, like, this web cartoon or a web series, but then there's maybe also going to be an actual anime that comes, and maybe they're going to adapt the Moro arc, maybe they're going to adapt other stuff.
No. So here's the thing. They did not adapt the Moro arc. They're not moving ahead with Dragon Ball Super, and instead they're making Dragon Ball Daima. And I'm going to give it a shot, but it in no way, shape, or form is like what I want as a Dragon Ball fan. I don't know if some of you guys probably follow Dragon Ball and know exactly what I'm talking about, but basically they did a new anime where all of the cast gets turned into kids. And so it's like a new GT kind of thing, and a lot of fans are not happy about it. So kind of wild. I did not see that coming. So that's just another thing. I mean, it was crazy, like, because we got it, but it is not something that fans really wanted. Damn, I talked about Dragon Ball for a long time. I gotta tell you here
About the War in the Stars.
Oh, Star Wars.
Okay, so Bad Batch Season 2. What? Comes out in the next couple of days. 2 episodes.
Okay,
kind of
forgot about it.
Banger of a season. I'm really, really excited. And I mean, you've got Gunji, you've got Emperor Palpatine, you've got Omega. A lot of fun stuff.
Omega.
And it could tie via Mount Tantus and Thrawn into where we're going in Ahsoka and the Mandoverse and stuff like that. So
That would've been
I'm
cool.
pretty excited. I think that's
It kind of
great
does.
way to start the year. Bad Batch will be
It kind of does with that big Zepho like machine thing a little bit.
very fun for the fan base and roll right in to a couple of incredible fucking pieces of content or stuff that seems very, very hype. You've got The Mandalorian Season 3, which I mean, bro, hot damn am I excited for The Mandalorian Season 3. This is really what it's about here.
Oh no.
Din versus Bo.
Oh no.
I actually think they might just give Bo the rule. That's fucking, I don't know. We're going to see what happens. But regardless, should be really, really cool. It's also a real, like, curious place for Star Wars as a brand.
It is. Curious.
Because, like I've been saying, like, dude, if there's a lack of audience for Mando 3, that's a really, really bad sign. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Mando 3 is going to blow up and be massive for them. Do way better numbers than Andor. Probably even bigger numbers than Kenobi and Boba did last year.
It did not.
I think Mando 3 will do massive numbers. And if Bad Batch is really good, Season 2, that's really going to help because people are going to be in that Star Wars mood. They're going to be really, really excited. And right around this time, we get Jedi Survivor as well. Like, bro, I'm going to be honest. 2022, rough year for Star Wars. Rough year
It was.
for Lucasfilm. But this first quarter in 2023 is strong. Holy shit. They've got a strong lineup, and I'm really excited. I'm excited for the Star Wars fan base. It's good in the way that, like, it brings us all back together. Like, at the end of Mando Season 2, when that shit was happening,
Shut your goddamn
the whole fan
whore
base for a
mouth!
second. Whether this happens at Star Wars Celebration or it happens later in the year at Comic-Con or D23 or at an investor call or something, Star Wars has talk about the fucking movies. The real problem with Star Wars,
Oh boy.
is that they appear to have
Oh boy.
decided the direction they want to go with their movies. And there's even more information about this. Like, I think Jeff Snyder was talking with, on the podcast he does with Roka, and he said the Lindelof movie is supposedly going to try to release in 2025. So they're going at it hard. They're going to sort of speed up production on that, and it might even start shooting next year. And they're gonna have to announce what it is.
Yep.
And unfortunately, all signs point to it being a film set in the sequel trilogy era post Episode 9.
Yep.
It will have a female person of color as the main character, supposedly. This is the rumor.
Yep.
Some of the sequel trilogy characters will show up. I don't think John Boyega, but likely Poe, likely Rey, likely Rose Tico.
Incredible.
As I reported several months ago. And all this shit seems like it's real. And all this shit seems like this is the way it's going. By the way, the Miss Marvel director is going to be the director.
Yep.
So, I mean, here's the deal. Like, that is goddamn ridiculous. Like, that's just fucking ridiculous.
It is,
I'm
dude.
sorry.
It's still ridiculous.
That is Crazy Town, USA.
That is Crazy
What
Town.
the fuck are they thinking?
What are they
the
thinking?
problem is going to be that we're going to go from such a strong beginning for 2023, and it's gonna be like incredible, and then all of a sudden they're going to have to talk about this.
Hang on, I'm flipping this.
It's fucking real.
So when I look over here,
and
it
they're
looks
gonna
like
have
I'm
to
looking
talk
at the
about it.
thing.
And the fandom is going to have to decide
Yes.
how they feel about at least the first movie. I'm hearing all the next 3 movies.
Okay, so we got a lot of that right. I mean, at the end of the day, the Rey movie stuff was true. However, the one thing I think I got wrong back then was it's not all sequel trilogy stuff, first of all, but also like the Filoni movie, that's kind of crazy and surprising. And generally, I think the movie announcements that Star Wars made this year were actually met with a lot of positivity, other than the Rey movie. I think a lot of people got excited about them actually having a plan, actually announcing movies. James Mangold, this was before Indiana Jones came out, so I think there were people, still looking forward to that. Yeah, that was good. The Rey movie stuff we were right about. A lot of the people, if you look at the chat, a lot of people in the chat didn't believe me. Did not believe they were actually going to make more sequel stuff. They didn't believe they were going to make more stuff with Rey, and that's kind of funny. Okay, so let's see what I had to talk about with Ahsoka.
Crazy. Now, luckily, will be one of the greatest things that Star Wars has ever done. And that would be the Ahsoka show.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. I was really surprised. I dropped a video on Saturday about the new Ahsoka leaks, Thrawn stuff, how I think it's good, like the coolest fucking thing Star Wars has ever done. I'm so excited for it. I think it's incredible, okay?
Yeah.
I was shocked at how many people in the comment section were like, lame, nope, fuck that. I think that's horrible. These leaks sound horrible. Do people actually like these leaks? Is it a vocal minority of people that are like, no, this sounds horrible? Or you know, it is pretty interesting that I was already surprised by an audience reaction like 11 months ago for the Ahsoka stuff. That is kind of surprising. I think it sounds awesome, but then there's a ton of people that are like, no, fuck that, and they hate it because oh my god, what a disaster for Star Wars if like they put all this effort, time, energy, if Dave's like whole thing is going to be this, and then people are like, oh really, magic? No thanks. Oh, Thrawn, a Lich Lord, undead army, horrible. Give me Andor and Cyril. You know what I mean? Like, is that what's going to happen? Are people just going to be like, nah man, I'd prefer 12 episodes of a Prison Break, a Simp Lord. And yeah, 86% of you guys that have done the thing so far. Well. But look, this is what I thought would happen. A lot of you guys are really excited about it. I think our community is really excited about this for the most part. But I want to know what the wider Star Wars audience thinks. Because again, I was shocked at how many comments were negative as I was, you know, going through the comments over the weekend. I was like, damn, dude. It's kind of wild that like there were signs even back then, you know, because look, I like Ahsoka a lot, but Ahsoka was a divided show. A lot of people did not like it. So it's kind of interesting that even back then I was like, I don't get it. It's awesome, but nobody was happy. I'm not certain that this show will come out this year. Skeleton Crew is supposed to tie into a lot of the stuff that's going on in Ahsoka. True. It's a relatively new idea that was pitched, but they're trying to streamline this. They are trying to streamline this. To be honest with you, they need to slow down. I think they should slow down. Push it to 2024. And they did end up doing that. They did end up doing that. However, it really does feel like Lucasfilm was like, no, we need it now. Do you think James Gunn will be very clear? This was before his announcement. In the announcement. Do you think James Gunn will be very clear in the announcement? Because here's sort of the issue. I would really like to believe that he's going to come out and be crystal clear on what's happening. And if he's crystal clear on what's happening, it could be really good or really bad for the DC movies that are coming out that year. Interesting. The main question is this a total reboot or is it a partial reboot? That is a question. Is it a soft reboot or a complete and total reboot? Good question. If it is a complete and total reboot, it will be great and also ruin the fuck out of a lot of the movies that come out next year. Yes, that's true. So, like, you know, Shazam, Aquaman, The Flash, which, by the way, I gotta show you this. This picture of The Flash. This is the stuff of nightmares, bro. This shit is hilariously horrible. Let's go. Just fucking feast your eyes on what the Flash movie has coming for you there, okay? It's like a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. I agree. Because if he comes out and he's super vague and he's like, we're going to do a Superman movie and we're going to do this movie, we're going to do that movie, and he doesn't address whether or not it's a full reboot or not, I feel like fans are going to be in this limbo state. They're going to be really upset. They're going to be like, what the fuck, right? But if he doesn't say total reboot, it could actually help like the Flash movie, the Aquaman movie, or whatever, because you're like, well, maybe some of this will still matter in the next universe, right? Yep. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, and it's like two main questions. Is he going to be completely honest, and is it a full reboot, right? Remember when the first thing he tried to say was like, Shazam's off in its own corner. We're so grateful because the Flash was already created and now it's going to do the reboot. Like, do you remember that goobly glob fucking announcement that he made? Holy shit. But as far as that, like, maybe the Flash, despite this horrible vomit-inducing suit for the Flash here, the Flash is probably the only movie that really interests me next year. Like Joker 2 as a musical, I do not give a solitary fuck about Joker 2 as a musical. Like, I don't. Same. Still don't. Maybe some of you do. Do some of you care about the Joker 2 in the musical? They just released like some footage, like like a look where she's like staring at him or something. Lady Gaga. And yeah, I just don't care about that movie at all. Blue Beetle. That actually seems kind of cool. And we've got to see like a trailer and whatever, but I like the main actor. I like the Scarab. I like Blue Beetle as an idea. It seems kind of fun. Yeah. But Shazam, I would probably not going to see either way. Like, even if nothing of a reboot was happening, I wouldn't go see Shazam. I do not care. That movie looks garbage to me.
Yeah.
Right? Aquaman 2. What the fuck is Aquaman 2? Have we seen a trailer for Aquaman 2, by the way? Like, have we seen a trailer for Aquaman 2? Have we? Because if we have, I forgot the fuck out of that trailer. It's Lobo. This motherfucker doesn't even want to be Aquaman. It's the highest grossing DCEU movie, and he doesn't even want to be Aquaman. He'd rather be Lobo.
But I was wondering what was going to happen. James Gunn's announcement was really goobly glob. Every single movie bombed horribly this year for DC. Every single one. Strangely, Aquaman 2 seems to be like weirdly picking up steam overseas. It might outgross Black Adam, which is the highest grossing DCEU movie in like the last 4 years. I don't know if you guys know that, but they were like, hey, you best performing guy, you're fired. We're going to bring on James Gunn, the guy that did The Suicide Squad. So, yeah, fascinating, right? Because, look, there were a lot of people over the weekend. Like, I saw Brandon Davis make this point and some other people that are like, Aquaman 2's bombing. Why isn't anybody dragging it through the streets like fucking the Marvels? You're all sexist, you know what I mean? And initially, like, I was kind of triggered by it, and I tried to, like, say what I think is actually going on there. But you know what? It's not worth fighting about. It's not something that I even want to necessarily, like, engage with. But strangely, it does seem like Aquaman 2 might outpace the Marvels and actually kind of, I don't even know if it'll turn a profit, but it's going to not lose $270 million in the same way that the Marvels did. It's kind of interesting. So we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, DC had a really, really bad year. And it is quite interesting to look back at just that moment in time and what we were all thinking with all of these movies on the slate, with James Gunn having announced within the last month, at the time of doing the stream, it was within that month that he had announced a reboot. And we were all really wondering, like, man, what is the deal with that? Like, is that going to hurt these movies? Like, is it a soft reboot? Is it not? Like, all of these questions, right? Yeah, they had an absolutely terrible, terrible year.
Let's talk about Marvel.
Let's talk about Marvel, baby.
Marvel. So Marvel begins the year with Quantumania, and it's going to be Kang the Conqueror, who we're all really excited to check out. This will set the stage for all of Phase 5. I'm hopeful that Quantumania is really cool. The rumor is they've done some reshoots to put a bunch more Kang in it because maybe there wasn't enough Kang in it initially. Excited about
how do they feel about that now, you know?
How Quantumania, but I've got a lot of questions. Here's the main thing with Marvel, is that we're coming out of Phase 4.
Yes.
And Phase 4 absolutely did not slap and really did shake the foundation of the Marvel fan base and the zeitgeist. Okay?
Yes, this is true. Yes.
When you have shows dropping out of Nielsen's top 10 charts, when you have movies that are widely considered horrible, like Love and Thunder.
Yeah, bad movie.
There's some damage being done.
There is.
And the question with 2024 is, are we going to see the turnaround?
We didn't.
Because we're hearing so much about the 2024 films and the whole Thunderbolt thing, Captain America thing. Bro, they're going fucking ham. That shit's going to be ridiculous. 2024 for Marvel seems like it's going to be absurd. You've got Daredevil, 18 episodes. They're shooting that all this year.
No, they didn't.
Does 2023 have a chance at adjusting enough, being exciting enough to get the fan base kind of turned around? Well, one of the things I want to bring up here, and I just want to kind of talk about this together, is that there are massive changes happening at Marvel behind the scenes, and one of the big changes has to do with the TV shows.
Okay.
I literally heard yesterday, and I thought this was pretty crazy, but it might actually be true. I literally heard that Marvel is thinking about taking it all the way down to 1 or maybe 2 shows a year.
Yeah, that bared out. They're trying to get to that.
Or 2 shows a year, and that's it. I actually think that's an incredible idea.
Because if you think about this year, what was it? It was just Loki and Secret Invasion, right?
Shows just seem completely fucking pointless. Like Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Maybe it'll have a little bit of, Children Crusade stuff with the children. But you know what it really is? It's going to be just this big, campy show with a bunch of actors playing all of these different roles. And it's supposed to be just super campy and ridiculous and magical and fun. I'm not saying that the show couldn't be great, but they shouldn't make an Agatha show. They should put Agatha into another show that's bigger and that's taken more seriously.
I still believe this,
Wonder Man. Wonder Man. Probably just going to be like a sort of slapstick comedic look at Hollywood via the lens of a crazy powerful character like Wonder Man. You don't need a fucking Wonder Man show.
By the way, I think that Daniel recently reported that they're doing major changes to the Wonder Man show. So again, instead of canceling it, they're gonna like remake it, and they're basically remaking Ironheart this year as well.
Wonder Man in
Or next
another
year.
show that's a bigger idea, right? Echo. You don't need Echo, period, full stop, as a character or a show. But if you do
True.
want Echo, just throw her into the Daredevil show, bro. The Echo show seems like it's going to be a fucking disaster, and it's a show that doesn't matter. We don't need a show like that.
True.
Now, luckily,
Oh, no.
real talk, 100% real talk, they know this. Feige's come to this belief, and they're going to kill a lot of this shit. They're not doing this shit anymore, but they already have so much going into development.
Wow. So this is crazy because it's basically the same problem. It's basically exactly where we're at right now. They know that there have been problems. A lot of this stuff has already been shifted. They're already trying to change it. They were trying to change it 11 months ago, but they have just so much crap in the pipeline. It's just like, ugh.
That it's a little scary because I feel like they're going to have to go through some really more phase 4 goobly glob type of production before we sort of get into the new phase of Marvel where it's like we don't have the bullshit anymore, right? So this is kind of an interesting story. There was a video that confirmed 5 MCU shows in 2023. It was deleted by Marvel. And so comicbookmovie.com and a lot of other folks are claiming that you may well get a huge amount of delays this year.
Yes, we
And
did.
The shows that we're looking at this year are likely Secret Invasion, Loki Season 2, Ironheart,
They pushed
and
that.
maybe X-Men 97 and the other animated shows.
Nope. They pushed that too.
That's it. So Echo
no.
and Covenant of Chaos likely getting pushed to next year. And I think once we get to 2025, I don't think we're getting any more of these rinky-dink little shows anymore.
I think
they're
that
gonna
could
take
still
it
be
all
the
very
case. I hope
seriously.
that's the case.
And I think that Daredevil is probably their first attempt at making what they will probably try to, say is like appointment television within the Marvel Universe that's big, bold, brings all these different characters in.
And they are remaking that. That's really like crazy. I did not see that coming at all. They're absolutely remaking Daredevil, and Feige himself was like, "This just isn't good enough." That's wild. Like,
So-
still kind of can't believe it.
I don't know, man. The question is when we get into these other shows, and I think Secret Invasion will be the first one.
Oh no.
I have a lot of high hopes for Secret Invasion.
No.
But here's frankly where I'm at as a Marvel fan. And this is just me. But like, if the first episode of Secret Invasion doesn't slap, I'm kind of fucking out. I'm out.
Dude, and that actually happened. That actually happened. I decided I wasn't going to really cover it anymore. We talked about it on streams, but I didn't make videos. Like, that's basically what happened.
Like,
oh
I
my
have zero
God.
patience for it anymore.
Oh my
Like, if we
God.
get in there and it's like, dude, and it feels like this really small,
That's
like,
what it
kind of
was.
bullshit.
That's
side
exactly what it
project
was.
Because here's the other thing: don't put fucking Secret Invasion on something and not make it amazing. Are you kidding me? One of the coolest show or coolest comic book events ever, and they're gonna do some bullshit ass show for it? No fucking thank you. Please don't do that.
Please don't do that,
Please
Marvel.
don't do that.
Please don't do
So
that.
Secret Invasion better fucking slap.
Oh,
and that
no.
first episode better kick me swiftly in the taint. Pause. And I want to be excited about it. But I'm at this place where, like, if it starts to teeter in the wrong direction, I'm going to throw my hands up. I'm very, very upset. Now, next, of course, you've got Loki Season 2.
Okay.
Here's the problem with Loki Season 2.
Yeah, what's the problem?
I love Loki Season 1. Hearing some really weird things about Loki Season 2.
I was.
Hearing
yeah.
some really weird things. And so I'm hoping that we don't go into this subvert your expectations like, oh, you didn't see this shit coming. It's not actually going to be about Kang bullshit. I don't want that. No, thank you. Sometimes when I order a burger, I just want a fucking burger. So please don't do that. Now, Ironheart, that's a really interesting one, okay?
That was when I was hearing this stuff about Sylvie taking over. Luckily, they did change that, and that rumor ended up not being true. So that's really, really good. And ultimately, I did like Loki Season 2, and it ends on one of the coolest moments we've had in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, probably since Endgame. So that's really, really cool. But it did, I don't think it's as good as Season 1. A lot of it's redundant. I still had a great time with it. I still had a great time covering it. But, yeah, kind of not as good as Season 1.
Ironheart seems to be actually bringing Mephisto in, which, by the way...
Could still happen. Ironheart still could have Mephisto.
Unfortunately, some of you guys were probably right, because it seems like that other concept art was fake and probably was created by AI. I tried to tell you. You know what I mean? I tried to tell you, but you guys were like convinced that it was real. So here's the other thing that's weird.
Yes, what's weird?
You don't have a winter movie for Marvel next year. So you've got an early in the year movie in Quantumania.
Okay.
Then you've got an early summer movie in Guardians 3, which I'm really excited.
Guardians 3 was good.
Like, I don't think it's going to tie into shit.
That's true,
I don't think
actually.
it's tying into nothing. Like, multiverse stuff, other Avengers stuff. Maybe it'll set up the new team of Guardians afterwards.
It did.
But I really feel like Feige was like, no, we're going to give Gunn his goodbye, his closeout, and all of that.
Yeah.
My issue is this movie should have come out in Phase 4. And actually probably would have boosted Phase 4 a little bit. I feel like Phase 5 and Phase 6 needs to be a little bit more direct, needs to really build towards New Avengers or build towards the multiversal threat. So while Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is probably going to be really good, it's going to feel a little weird to be like, oh, Kang, Quantumania, let's fucking go! And then be like, oh, well, we're going to go on this little side trip with the Guardians. You know, we'll be back. The next movie is also a summer movie, and that would be The Marvels. Now, here's the thing with the Marvels. We've talked about this before. I'm really nervous and worried about the Marvels. A lot of the stuff that Grace is talking about is like they're going to take that weird She-Hulk approach of like trying to stick it to the trolls and trying to like go right after trolls. Horrible idea. Will create a horrible environment on social media to talk about this movie.
That's true.
Regardless of how you feel about that shit. Bad move, in my opinion, from the studio's perspective.
Yeah.
But the one thing that could actually get this movie to be...
well, that's fair, actually. Like, it seems like a lot of that stuff kind of got taken out. Like, it's not really aggressive like that. So, yeah, I don't think they really leaned into that. In fact, Feige might have kind of pulled the reins back. I mean, maybe that's kind of behind some of the beef with, like, Nia and her leaving the movie and saying that, you know, she didn't leave the movie even though she left the movie and all that sort of stuff. So it's interesting, right? Because that wasn't the problem with the Marvels. The problem with the Marvels was it was not very great.
Embraced by the audiences and could actually be pretty fucking cool is apparently this will tie into the multiverse. And the rumor is you're going to see an incursion in this movie. And the rumor is that it will be one of the most shocking visual things that Marvel...
And we didn't get that, by the way, because I thought we did initially, but that's not an incursion at the end of the movie. It's just opening up a portal to another universe. It would have been so much better if it had actually full-on been an incursion and it was really crazy, but that did not happen.
They want the incursion to be something that makes your hair on your arm stand up. They want the incursion to be so wild that you're like, damn. Okay? Can the Marvels balance what it's trying to do with tone, what it's trying to do with these characters, and whatever it wants to do with the trolls, and actually connecting into it and being awesome? Can it pull off a Boys? Can it be like The Boys? Where, yeah, it does some cringy stuff, it does some political stuff, it does some identity politics, but it's so fucking good that we kind of have to sit back and be like, man, but that was kind of dope.
No.
I don't know. Here's my biggest hope for Marvel. And it's actually funny because it's kind of a repeat of what they did this year.
Oh, boy.
But I expect that if all this stuff happens and it's kind of wishy-washy, like let's say like the Marvels is as bad as maybe I fear that it will be, well, they're going to turn around at San Diego Comic-Con and they're going to blow our fucking hair back with announcements. Just like they did this year where they were like kind of out of nowhere, oh, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is real, right? Well, why do you think that happened? Well, because Love and Thunder just happened, man. And shit was whack. And the narrative was they have no direction. Marvel's not the same. And so Feige basically he went crazy at Comic-Con.
Yep.
And so I think...
And, oh, man, did it hurt them to not have that Comic-Con? Because I do think they survive off of hype a little bit. And I definitely think that that's a part of it is, like, every year kind of hyping us up, getting us excited for the future. That kind of stuff does drive the fandom. I mean, I think Feige is aware of that. And to not have Comic-Con this year in a year where Marvel just did so badly, I think did hurt them significantly. Now, part of that's because of the strikes, but really it's also because the sky was falling. I don't think we could have anticipated just how bad Quantumania was going to be for them, and, you know, firing Victoria Alonso and like all the fallout from that. It's like Marvel's been slowly spiraling for like the last 2 years, and they've been adjusting and they've been making, you know, plans for the future, but they're still like putting out stuff that's just not connecting with the audience in the same way. So it's wild to look back and now see where we're at.
X-Men 97. Holy shit, bro. I'm so excited for that.
Okay? Yeah, still excited.
So we've heard some weird things about Marvel production, animation studio, budget cuts, whatever.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, don't let any of that shit touch X-Men 97. I don't care if you ever do another animated project. X-Men 97 has to be great. It has to be great.
I agree with that.
I don't want my first, like, experience with X-Men under Disney to be like whack.
True.
That's gonna be bad. That'll be
That
a bad
will be
taste.
bad.
So it's got to be really good. And Bo DeMeo seems awesome. Sort of like the lead writer over there. And I have a lot of high hopes for what they're gonna do with the X-Men 97 show.
We didn't
What
get
if
it.
season 2 also has an opportunity to be incredible, to set up animation at Marvel Studios down this really interesting path, but it also has a chance to maybe kind of flounder and hurt Marvel Animation Studios' future.
Hard to say. As I said, guys, I haven't really watched any of it. Kind of on a little bit of a detox, but I think I'll eventually check it out. It seems like a lot of you guys really like it, though. So maybe they have a dub
lot
there.
of questions, a lot of answers. I think there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. Maybe Marvel Zombies. I don't know about Marvel Zombies, actually.
I don't think in a million years we could have called how bad it was for Marvel. The Quantum Mania thing, pretty shocking. Secret Invasion, also pretty shocking. Guardians 3 was great. We kind of called that. Loki Season 2 was really good. I liked Loki Season 2. I thought it was pretty damn good. But of course, lower viewership, not as good as Season 1. A little bit of a damper there. The Marvels is the lowest grossing thing they've ever made. It's a huge bomb and a big stinker. So that's pretty wild, but we kind of called that. I mean, I didn't think it would be that bad, but I think everybody kind of thought, yeah, it would be pretty bad. So overall, we got a lot of the general vibes right for them. Star Wars is interesting because, obviously I think I was wrong about Ahsoka, but it's weird because we kind of saw some signs even back then that it wasn't going to be as big. It's funny because I directly talk about how if Mando Season 3 has a lower viewership, that's a horrible sign for Star Wars. And it did. And so that's kind of interesting to look back at that. I talked about the movie announcements. The movie announcements happened, but they went over a little bit more positively than I thought. The Boys didn't even happen. We got half of Invincible at the very end of the year. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like got a lot of stuff wrong looking ahead, but also, I mean, it was impossible to call the strikes going on for almost the entirety of the year. I think it was like I just couldn't have imagined that Quantum Mania and Secret Invasion would have been as bad and as poorly received as they were. So you kind of win some, you kind of lose some. You know what I mean? So I don't really know, guys. What did you think?